At Tech for Good Southwest, we're passionate about building momentum for the Tech for Good movement across the southwest of the UK. Our mission is to amplify the positive impact of technology in tackling societal challenges and creating stronger, fairer and more connected communities. By fostering a regional Tech for Good community, we aim to support initiatives that ensure technology serves the greater good and enable everyone to thrive in the long term. Throughout this podcast, we'll be joined by a diverse range of voices from across the tech sector, charities, investors, startups and community-driven projects as they share their stories, challenges and hopes in harnessing tech for good. Join us as we explore a world of tech for good right here in the Southwest. Brought to you by Annie, Alicia and Ariel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Alicia here from the Tech for Good Southwest podcast. I hope you all had a wonderful summer because this is likely to be live in September or October. Today I am joined by Matt and Nick, who are the two co-founders of The Three Engineers and also the creators of The Adventures of Scout. I am obsessed by Scout. I'm obsessed with what they're doing and I'm so excited to have them on the podcast today to talk about everything that they've created, plans for the future, and just cover what real impact is. It's a little bit different what we're going to talk about today, but I think the opportunity for them to make the world a better place, inspire the next generation, will inspire a lot of people. So talking about using the word inspire for the third time, in terms of what Scout is. So Scout is out to inspire the next generation of problem solvers to help protect our planet. And the Three Engineers do this through a fun, rhyming children's book series, which features an amazing, inquisitive young girl called Scout, who likes to figure things out. There's the rhyme. But that's just a little drop in the ocean of what they're doing, and I don't want to take the limelight away from the two of them. So without further ado, Matt and Nick, welcome. Please, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do day to day and the Three Engineers?
Brilliant. Yeah, lovely to be on this, Alicia, and lovely to see you again. My name's Nick. I'm a co-founder of the Adventures of Scout children's book series. But back in 2018, both myself, Matt and John, that were all engineers working together, decided that we want to do a side project. And basically that's how we connected on this journey. Pass you on to Matt.
Yeah, hi Alicia. Yeah, great to be on the podcast. I'm Matt, also an engineer, co-founder of The Three Engineers back in 2018. And I think this is a third podcast I've been on, so it's pretty exciting. I'm pretty new to it. Yeah, we'll do our best.
You're a veteran. 3 podcasts, that's good going. Have they all been about Scout?
They have, yeah.
Awesome. What does day-to-day look like for both of you? I know you're engineers, but that's a relatively broad job title. What do you actually sort of do day-to-day?
I'm a systems engineer, so I have to deal with requirements and all the boring stuff like that, and make sure that all of the different design teams kind of coherently pull together the complex problems and we come up with the solutions and work with the customer. So a bit like an account manager. Matt?
Yeah, so day to day for me, I've recently gone contracting as a contract engineer, so working for myself. I'm doing systems engineering as well, although I originally was a mechanical engineer, qualified as a mechanical engineer. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm chasing around after my 2 kids who take up a lot of my time.
And renovating a house.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 weeks off to renovate the house. Well, just the bathroom.
Excellent. So how did the Three Engineers come about?
Lunchtimes. That's where we would normally go on walks. We would probably moan about work, and we would just be like, wouldn't it be great if we had an idea and do something different that kind of really helped and impacted the world? And I think Matt was brave enough to say, let's stop whinging. Let's put some time aside. Let's use our system engineering tools and processes to kind of map out an idea, which I thought was actually kind of like, oh yeah, eureka moment. We could actually do that because we take things from concept design anyway, all the way through to through life. So why could we not try and apply that to a different idea?
Yeah, so because we all had Friday afternoons, we didn't have to work Friday afternoons, the place we were working. So rather than spend the time in the pub just chatting nonsense, I booked out five weeks where we all got together, and I bought a load of Sharpie pens, coloured Sharpie pens, because I love whiteboarding and mind mapping. So we did loads of different things like spray diagrams, mind maps, and yeah, we did like scoring matrices to figure out which of our ideas were the best for us. Yeah, Venn diagrams of all of our interests and all of our common things that we were interested in and our goals. So yeah, it came together in that 5 weeks, and yeah, for some reason we decided, oh, wouldn't it be great to write some children's books? Having never done that before and had no idea how to do it.
I think there's another thing to add, which is quite a funny story, was that we wanted to map our weaknesses and what things we were good at. But John was my boss and Matt was our big boss. So trying to have those conversations at that point was quite revealing. We all came out of it unscathed, but I was very much like looking across at Matt being like, can I say this? But yeah, he took it well.
Excellent. So lunchtimes into now 3 books, but we'll go on to the story of how those 3 books have been created. But please tell everyone, because I'm sure they're like, who is Scout? What are they doing? What is the adventures of Scout and what are you trying to achieve?
Shall I take this one, Matt?
Go for it.
Right. Well, we didn't know we wanted to write kids' books. So that's the main thing that we need to highlight here, is that we had lots of different ideas. And when kids' books was announced, my head hit the table, because I was like, we love maths. I do not like English. I can't believe we're going to go down the route of rhyming. And then Matt was like, we need to make them rhyme, which made me, again, like reach for a pint. And I was just like, oh, my God. But then we kind of very, very quickly came up with a vision that was kind of like, could we look at all the other successful kind of impactful kids characters out there, like Harry Potter? Could we have like possibly a character that grow over time? Could we reach the heights of Dora the Explorer and have that kind of reach? And then we were thinking about all the best bits, and we were really passionate about promoting STEM in especially young girls into engineering when we were graduates, and we kind of loved that. So when we kind of collected all these notes, and it just came up with the idea of, well, let's just write, some fun rhyming kids books about a young girl. She could be a problem solver. She could then, her missions or adventures she goes on are actually to help the environment, because I was massively into picking at that point. And we just kept thinking, well, there's so many things we're hitting here. We could be inclusive. We could be hitting STEM. We could hit an environment. And then when we're looking at marketing routes, we could just see, well, wouldn't it be amazing if we could kind of partner with experts in the field, if we could somehow create something amazing, such that our tool was an engaging resource, but then you followed up by, experts and other people inspiring others to take action. And we just thought that the kind of younger age group was the right place to target, because they're the most innocent, pure. They want to kind of follow steps, and it just felt right, didn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely. I had 2 very young children at that point as well, so I was reading dozens of Julia Donaldson stories and Harry McClary and things like that. So I was sort of in that zone, and the idea of Scout as a character, our main sort of protagonist, with a little mate, little poison dart frog, Vinny, which is a bit random, but we thought, why not? Yeah, we just wanted to get across a character that was thoughtful, kind, caring, and used her sort of understanding of the world to like do better things, make it better. So yeah, that's how Scout came about.
Love that. And I'm going to put some links, obviously, on the podcast to the website, Instagram, just some pictures, because one thing, and I think I've said to Nick so many times, that I'm mainly obsessed with, is your illustrator, who blows my mind, and just what she's created with the books. Because is this right? Is it like 2 million brushstrokes make up each book? Is that right?
For the book series, yeah, we let's go to our illustrator, because we can't take all the glory here, because she is incredible. She's from Georgia, Eastern Europe. Her name's Anna Bratishvili. And I found when we first started, before we put pen to paper, we were looking at kind of crowdfunding and different kind of options, what we could do in the future. and I found her on a crowdfund. And it was just because she had a time-lapse video of this amazing image. And I was thinking, well, if we've got to think about marketing, how could we kind of offer something different, especially if we're going to kind of tell people about our journey? And we could almost bring people on the journey as we're creating these ridiculously stupid fag packet sketches, pass them over to this wizardess of a lady that can kind of turn these illustrations into something magical. And yeah, there's 2 million brushstrokes in the book series. It's looking like there's going to be well over 1 million in our 4th book that we'll come on to in a bit. They are just insane. She just does everything on Procreate on her iPad. And yeah, I think when she turned us down 4 times as well for the project. So I kept hassling her, and she was like, I'm not sure. And eventually she said yes. And it was like, whoa, we now got an illustrator on board. It's time to take it a little bit more seriously than just Fridays down the pub.
Love that. So there's three books in the series at the moment. I know 4th is underway or finished.
Yeah, so I'm working on the 4th book at the minute, Alicia, while Nick's sort of taking the business sort of forward and growing the business and getting all these volunteers in to do great stuff. The 4th book's a bit of a different tact, so it took quite a long time to write 3 stories, and we did them all at the same time as well. We wrote them all concurrently. I've got ideas for other storybooks, but it takes a long time, about a year, to actually come to a final script on such a short book. So this one is all about the illustrations. It's a Where's Wally type book, so it's a search and find book. It's going to be bigger than our existing storybooks, and all of the spreads are all different, like landscapes, like environments, so like rainforests, rivers. The last one that Anne's doing is a woodland scene, and Vinny, our little poison dart frog, has 5 other amphibious friends, and they're all hidden around the picture. And pictures are crazy; they're absolutely crazy, and yeah, you got to try and find them. So, and then there's messaging in the back about the different environments and how humans impact them, both in good and bad ways. So yeah, still on the environmental theme.
I'll add something to that as well, because when we first mapped out that very first kind of plot of like what would our book series look like, we definitely looked at Dora, and she had this pink gorilla, and we were just thinking, well, we've got to have someone like that, like a dog or a cat. And we're like, no, we've got artistic license here. Let's go, just be silly. Let's just create something funny like Vinny. And he's a poison dart frog. And yeah, we always knew we were going to do a spin-off book, because we were like, we got the 3, and we'll do a Where's What eco-theme style book. And hopefully maybe Vinny could take off in his own right, because the book is of such good quality. Matt's done such a good job with Anne that, yeah, it's going to blow. It's insane, the illustrations.
Scout's still in it, though. Scout is still in it. She's on every page still, doing the cool stuff that she does. But yeah, this one's called Find Vinny. Yeah.
Love that. What are the 3 books focused on, just so people know? Because obviously I want to tag that, and hopefully loads of people buy the books off the back of this podcast. But what are the 3 books called, and what's their focus?
So we basically wanted to design books that could be inclusive. We noticed through the research that we did that we couldn't find really like a protagonist that took things forward and was inclusive. Not only just learning about the problem, but doing something about it. So I was a litter pick at the time, but actually the first eureka moment was the bees book. I think we kind of came up with an idea. Let me backtrack even more. We basically did 4 months of research in bookshops, and we analysed Julia Donaldson's rhyming patterns, and we basically created an analysis tool to kind of look at kind of we were looking at syllable counts and the number, the words. And I think what happened was we then kind of each went off to try and figure out if we could come up with an idea for each book. So I came up with The Missing Bees, which is all about planting seeds to feed the missing bees. And you couldn't go and tell like children that the bees are getting massacred by pesticides and things like that. So we came up with a really nice idea where there's just not enough flowers to keep them all active. So they're up at the arcade where the lights are attractive. And the idea there was kind of we could kind of meet 3 animals similar to the Gruffalo that are affected by the problem. So a hummingbird without kind of flowers to drink from, a bear that's got no honey, and then the queen bees lost all the bees because they're up at the arcade, basically just mucking about really. And then the idea is that you then have Scout coming up with a really cool idea of having a picnic, repurposing a garden, growing some flowers, and then everyone's happy. And then I think Matt came up with the Stop, Drop and Litter book. Matt, do you want to tell a bit more about that one?
Yeah. So like our three books are Stop, Drop and Litter, The Missing Bees, and Animal Rescue. Nick's told you about The Missing Bees. Stop, Drop and Litter. I'm from Cornwall originally, and when I go back to visit my mum, there's always so much litter compared to when I was growing up, washed up on the beach. So that story is about Scout finding her local beach covered in rubbish, and she has to figure out how it's getting there, and it's basically washing in from the waterways in town where people are dropping litter, and it's washing out to sea and then coming up onto shore. And she meets three animals that are all have a bit of an issue with that, and helps them out, and they cover over the pipe that's spewing out all this litter and clean up the beach. And then our third book, Animal Rescue, that was one that our friend John started and wrote the ideas for, and that one's about upcycling household waste to help animals in sort of local habitats. So trying to teach children to do things to help wildlife in their local area, whether it's urban or rural. And yeah, we've got three like UK animals in that one: a bearded beetle who's a lumberjack and he needs more dead wood to eat stuff, a hedgehog who's a punk hedgehog, and a red squirrel. So those are our three books, and Scout goes on a little journey helping all these animals, solving problems, and taking action.
Amazing. What I know your numbers and what you've reached, but how many children have you reached so far?
So I think we've reached just over 250,000 children since 2022, even though we've all got full-time jobs, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, we went into schools. Well, we wrote some scripts. So we went into some schools with a PowerPoint with Dora the Explorer images and things all cut and pasted into our storyboard to kind of read. And we thought at that point that would be a really good place to trial, and also a really good like target audience or market to like sell to. And then we realized through like all the volunteered and all the teachers that helped us that the schools were under so much pressure. Like there is no way that is what we're going to be doing. And we kind of then spun kind of the angle of where we were going with social value being such a huge thing now in the corporate world, we should be speaking to corporates in our local areas, and let's see if they can get books purchased and get them into schools to help and local communities and disadvantaged children. So yeah, we've also managed to sell 15,000 books and get them distributed into libraries and schools to promote literacy, which is just amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. And you've got a couple of partnerships now, haven't you?
Yeah. So exciting times for us, actually. Nick's been working really hard networking. I suppose our first partnership was with the STEM Hub. So that sort of started back in lockdown, really, where we took those sort of school visits that we were doing, like in person, and used the technology like Teams Live. We swapped from PowerPoint to a piece of presentation software called Prezi, which was like zooms in and out of the images and stuff. It's really cool. And we started doing virtual STEM talks and virtual book reads and things like that. And that's how we've managed to reach so many more children using that technology and working virtually. Yeah, so that's the STEM Hub. We've done some great in-person sort of charity events over the last 3 years with promoting children in Plymouth. So one of our employers, very big down in Plymouth, and we had some contacts down there. And basically, Plymouth's got some very deprived areas. Children have never owned a book before. So us and some of the big corporations like donated some books, and we went down there for the day. And we've done this for the last 3 years for World Book Day. And we go around, and there's like dozens of volunteers that go to all the schools in Plymouth, all the primary schools, and they read our books and then give the books to the schools for the library, and they ask questions. We have like the town mayor and the MP and different people like that. But yeah, it's a fantastic experience. Well worth it, seeing the look on the kids' faces when they get the book and ask us loads of random questions.
you're in the zone, and then someone puts a hand up and like says the most obscure like question, and then you're just like, oh no, in front of a whole assembly of kids, this is not great.
Yeah, like, do you like peanut butter? And you're like, yeah, I love peanut butter. Do you?
To be fair, we had some kids come in to SR2, and I wasn't there, but they asked Chris whether he would give them £1 million, £1 million. Just even really seriously, just out there, like, would you be open to giving me £1 million? I love kids. Obviously, you guys are on the Tech for Good Southwest podcast, and the next generation, like we need to do so much more, not only for the environment, but yeah, technology is at the forefront of absolutely everything revolving around the world at the moment. And yeah, it worries me every day in terms of the future, like massively about sort of diversity. For example, like only 15% of girls took GCSEs computer last year compared to 43% in 2015, which if we thought it was bad then, like we're getting worse when technology is only evolving. So like trying to educate and inspire this next generation through things like Scout and some other really cool things that are about is so important. But in terms of sort of, that's why I think Scout and the 3 engineers and what you're doing is Tech for Impact. But what does that mean for you? Like what is Tech for Good, Tech for Impact to you?
So one really good example, actually, which links back to one of our latest partnerships, is with the Rivers Trust. Big charity. The guy we talked to there, super excited about rivers and river health. Knows all the facts.
Big out to Ali.
Yeah. But we're working with them because Scout is their first virtual ambassador. Okay, so we're using our brand of Scout as a virtual character to actually create content for this charity to promote improving river quality and river health. And yeah, just being able to use technology in terms of how we can communicate nowadays. It's so easy and so quick. Being able to reach so many children and have like cool virtual talks as if you were in the room with them, I think is really good. And we're using the technology available to us as best we can to get our message out.
Yeah, and then on my side, I think Scout's amazing because we can hit two major things. We can really inspire kids to care and learn about the environment. And the Rivers Trust, as Matt said, they're going to basically help create some educational content, like maybe some school schemas and some stuff, so they can go in and kind of reach a different demographic than what they normally kind of reach, which is just amazing. And another partnership we've got, which is called with the Institute of Chemical Engineers. So again, in our wildest dreams, we probably laughed and joked about saying we were going to have this impact and reach these people and sign up with partnerships and collaborate with them, but never did we think it would happen. Yeah, they're taking on our books as the primary STEM resource with their chemical engineers. And again, I guess back to your question, it's kind of, well, there is a gap. We are super passionate about not only encouraging young girls into STEM, but all kids into STEM, because there's a massive, I think it costs like £1.5 billion to the UK economy and each year for having a lack of STEM kind of resources. And by partnering and collaborating with these people, we can create different types of content to appeal to more children to try and promote them into STEM. So that's the beauty of this project, is that we've got two angles that we're both passionate about. And it's just it's a really cool mechanism. And there's so much tech out there that we haven't even used. We're too scared to use AI at the moment and kind of all of the other tools that are out there to help us grow. And I'm sure we will one day accelerate and be able to create tons more stuff. But yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah, I also think our character Scout, and the fact that we're engineers and we've taken what we do as a day job, which is all big bits of metal and control systems and things like that, and gone, we can apply those skills to writing children's book and creating art, because we design the pictures and just turns them into fantastic images, but we design them and draw these terrible pencil sketches.
I've seen them.
Yeah, okay. But they're we can also talk to children and inspire children in that way through the technology of saying, well, just because you like maths or want to be an engineer doesn't mean that you can't still do cool stuff and create art and videos and all this other stuff, because it's all available to everyone now through like
100%.
technology.
I was speaking to this girl earlier, and she's just designed. She said, "Never in my wildest dreams did I think, yeah, the impact that I have." But she designed all the graphics for the Olympics. So like when all the medals, the rank of medals comes up, sort of the graphics that sit behind it. And she's like imagine how many millions of people have seen my work. I didn't think when she when she was at school, she said, I didn't think that was technology, or that's what technology would be used for, but it is. So it is such an education piece that you're not going to be stuck in a dark room with no windows in front of a computer just all day. There's so much more to technology, and the way that you're sort of educating and inspiring, it's so special, and I can't wait for people to see. I hope I've teased it enough that people are like, I need to see a picture of Scout. What does she look like? That's hope. Cool. In terms of what change you would most like to see, and what do we need to do to get there, but what change would you most like to see? And I think we might have answered it a little bit.
I personally, when I first started this with Matt, like I said, I was doing a lot of litter pick, and I actually started a lockdown 500, where I wanted to challenge myself to pick up 500 kilograms of litter. And then basically me just doing it over and over a day and posting it and kind of tagging it, because that was kind of the book that we were creating at the time. I got the whole community involved. We picked up well over 800 kilograms. But one of the things I was kind of like, the roads are so bad around the whole of the UK. It doesn't matter. I go cycling a lot. It's terrible. So I was kind of reaching out to all these amazing communities of litter pickers that were kind of measuring their bags as they pick rather than weight, whereas I was kind of going down the weight kind of route. And I realized quite quickly that, we need to kind of have, instead of kind of these big organizations or large charities with their own initiatives, we kind of need a big blue Peter kind of something up the top there that just drives people to be passionate to go out and contribute. Because yes, I think we need collaborations, and that's what we love that part of this. I think I can speak for you, Matt, as well. We absolutely love collaborating. It's the most fun part of this project. But at the same time, they kind of and I think that's the way we're going to see real change, is if we can all kind of work together, because it's a system. With the whole kind of litter cycle is a massive system, and every single environmental kind of challenge is a system. We kind of need to get together and work together. And I think that, from my perspective, that's the way things are going to change. Is we're not just pockets. We kind of grow together. We all help each other out to kind of get that message across and install, and inspire and educate.
Yeah, for me, it's very similar, Nick, I think, but from a grassroots point of view, the children nowadays, my kids are going through school at the minute. I've got a neighbour who's got a teenage daughter, and I just see how stressed she is at the amount academically they're being pushed to do these exams and tests, which is all very well to measure intelligence in that way, but if we could teach children how to do basic things like care for their local area that they live, and learn about plants and learn about animals and how to grow vegetables, and things like that, I think those are the things that are important now, I think. And we're slowly, the world's coming around to going, oh yeah, those things are important. It's not all about whether I can do Pythagoras theorem or remember my 16 times table. Those things are great, but
it's like life skills, isn't it?
Yeah,
life skills are so much more important. I mean, yeah, I think I got an A star in dance. Dance has never done me well today, but when I came out of school, I didn't know what a pension was, and I didn't know about savings until I was older. But then also, like you say, biodiversity and day to day life is so educating around that is so much more important.
Because I think there's so many young parents now that don't know those skills, so they're not teaching their kids those skills, and And there's probably a symptom of technology where people are on their phones and living virtually as opposed to in reality. You're sort of losing touch with the planet, really. So I don't want to go too deep there. And dance is great because it makes you laugh and releases endorphins. So there you go.
That's good. But yeah, I do want to put a big shout out to all of the amazing volunteers that are doing the good work out there. I've come across so many inspiring people that are leading communities, leading kind of like I can't really, don't know what to say, but like inspiring me to go out there and actually do the community work to kind of help raise awareness of the issues and fixing them, not waiting for someone else to just come and like fix it. Like, let's go and do it ourselves. So yeah, just want a big shout out to all the volunteers that do great stuff.
No, of course. And one thing I'm going to say is technology volunteers have supported these guys with a project, but I know that they really need some help with their website at the moment. It is live on Technology Volunteers. Again, I'll tag it on the post, but if you're an engineer or you know anyone who can help with sort of the website design for the 3 engineers / Scout, then please check it out, because need a couple of updates and changes on there. Last question, what's next? What's next for Scout? What's next for the 3 engineers? I know you said the 4th book, but anything else?
So we basically managed to get on the Bristol NatWest Entrepreneur Accelerator Program, which has been absolutely wonderful experience. It's given me about a gazillion more tasks to consider and all the business aspects to align. But I've had some fantastic help from corporations and Social Value by giving me their specialisms to help me kind of with business plans and marketing plans and things. But I think we're going to we're to stop ideas for books at the moment, and we're going to kind of let Anne. I think she's craving less detailed work and going off and doing a bit more of her own stuff. And then we're going to try and plug these books. But we've got an army of teachers and kind of graphic designers helping us create resources, because that's what we wanted to do away from the books, is that we wanted to give school talks around any major day of the year. We have scouted all the different characters. We can create amazing resources that you don't need to buy off Twinkle. They're free. But yeah, I think long term, we'd love to make Scout, a household brand, a big brand. We're going to probably try and go for a cartoon. I think that's what I'm going to sign myself up for. And who knows, if you could imagine getting the reach of Dora the Explorer around the globe, but yet you've got a positive role model like Captain Planet. Do you remember Captain Planet in the day?
Please.
No? Oh, he was basically what Power Rangers style. He was like a guy that came in, he had different rings, and he had like earth, wind, fire. And then off the back of that, all the colours and these heroes came, like Captain Planet came around, and I reckon Power Rangers stole the idea, if I'm honest, but that's showing my age. But how cool would it be if kids actually have a positive role model to look up to? And I'd absolutely love Vinny to be like a little Pingu series. So he doesn't say any words, but just kind of goes around doing cool things with his mates. Oh, it'd be brilliant.
What? Oh, Ribbit. Ribbit is a frog, isn't it? I was trying to think what like noise a frog makes, because obviously Pingu just like, he kind of like just squeaks, doesn't he? Matt, what's next for you? Apart from the renovation and running after 2 kids.
Yeah, so I need to get this 4th book finished. So I'm sort of more short-term goals, whilst Nick's looking long-term. So book finished. Going to create some colouring books as well on the way. So create some more, I suppose, products that we can promote to go on the website. And then, I'll be helping Nick shape the vision and hit the marketing, because we've basically done no marketing since 2018, and we're still turning over enough revenue to keep going and pay all our overheads and things. So we're not doing things badly, but I think we could do them so much better and at such a bigger scale as well.
Yeah, awesome. Matt reins me in. I kind of come up with these long, big visions, and then Matt kind of pulls the reins a little bit and keeps me in check, which is great.
Fair. And needed. I've also been in meetings with you. Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much. As I say, I think Scout is incredible. I think there's such a huge opportunity. Love that you are obviously Bristol, but wider Southwest based, and the amount of impact that you're making sort of locally is very much needed and very special. If Tech for Good can support you in any way, then let us know. But otherwise, yeah, for all the listeners, please check out the website, which I'm going to tag. Please buy the books, they're incredible. You will not see anything like it. I'm about to be a mum, and so I'm very much going into the children's book world. I have got the books in her room ready to go. But in terms of, yeah, they're just very special, and I think they're different. I think they could, as say, have a huge impact. So please support them. And are you both happy if anyone wants to reach out, ask you any questions? Are you happy for me to include social handles, etc.?
Absolutely, yeah. Any investors out there as well? Give us a call.
You never miss an opportunity, Nick. Never miss an opportunity.
You got to drop it in. You never know who's listening. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, great to speak to you both. And yeah, best of luck with everything for the 3 engineers and for Scout.
Brilliant. Thanks for having us.
Very much for having us.